Washington, power is not balanced. Indeed, power is becoming more concentrated on one side. There are powerful, deep-pocketed corporate interests lined up to fight to protect their privilege and to resist any change that would limit corporate excesses. Powerful corporate interests understand that if they can rig the courts, a friendly judicial system will give them a second bite at whatever they want. So I came here today because I had a message I wanted to bring personally. And here it is. There is an intense fight going on right now over what our federal courts will look like. It is a fight over whether those courts will remain a neutral forum, faithfully interpreting the law and dispensing impartial justice, or whether we will see corporate capture of the federal courts, with the courts transformed into one more version of the rigged game. And right now, we're losing that fight. The reasons are many. Consider the composition of the federal bench. Look at the federal bench, and you'll see a striking lack of professional diversity among the lawyers who serve as federal judges. According to a study published by ACS earlier this year, as of 2008, the federal bench was dominated, this is a quote, dominated by judges whose previous professional experience is generally corporate or prosecutorial. Now, I want to be clear. There are some really, really talented judges who come from the private sector. I myself have worked for private clients. And it is, of course, true that the personal views of an attorney often diverge from those of his or her clients. But I think diversity of experience really matters. At his induction ceremony, Judge Chen was quoted as saying he never considered withdrawing his name from consideration. And here was his reason. He said, "I believe that someone should not be disqualified from the bench simply because they once represented the voiceless and the unpopular rather than the wealthy and the powerful." And I believe Judge Chen is right. That's right. Or take a look at the win rate of the Chamber of Commerce. According to the Constitutional Accountability Center, the Chamber moved from a 43% win rate during the very conservative Burger Court to a 56% win rate under the very conservative Rehnquist Court, and now they are at a 70% win rate under the Roberts Court. Follow this pro-business trend to its logical conclusion, and sooner or later you will end up with a Supreme Court that functions as a wholly owned subsidiary of the Chamber of Commerce. So, what do we do? Well, I don't kid myself. Fighting back is not easy. Powerful interests invested in the status quo, they know what's at stake. They are organized, they are effective, and they come to this battle armed with lobbyists and lawyers. We are up against a conservative movement that for 30 years, since President Reagan, has dedicated itself to packing the courts with pro-business, anti-regulation conservative allies. They are tough and they are prepared. We will not win all of the fights ahead, but if we are going to have a chance, we begin by speaking out about what is happening in our courts. We have to do that. It is time for a new generation of judges, judges whose life experiences extend beyond big firms, federal prosecution, and white-collar defense. We need sustained pressure on those judges to get them in front of the United States Senate. We need pressure on our president, pressure on our senators, pressure on the press. And if the judges don't get a vote, if they are blocked, if they can't get through, then we need to change the filibuster rules to get them through. So we got a lot of different folks in here who have a lot of different interests, but I want to make this as clear as I can. If you care about the Affordable Care Act, if you care about the Voting Rights Act, if you care about financial reform, then your fight is not just a fight about policy. Your fight is not just a fight in Congress. Your fight is in the courts. Your fate is tied to judges who will decide these cases, and your fight must be to bring a new generation of judges to the bench. That's what we have to do.